Wake up, Jacob, Israelite Prepper here. Just wanted to join in and share a little bit of information. Listen, I'm not going to come on here and top myself as some kind of disease expert or coronavirus expert. And I'm not just doing a video just because hey, everybody's talking about coronavirus. I'm not doing that. There are a lot of trusted sources out there, and a lot of key places that have a lot of good information. So I would definitely recommend that you check, you know, um, some of these good sources. And one of the CDC. There's some I was listening to. There's actually there's a PhD that actually works for the CDC. I have to find that video, and if I get back to it, I'll put it in the description box below. But what I wanted to do is say to you guys that we need to ask ourselves the right questions, right, about this pandemic. And I think for the most part, just so that we can educate ourselves, we want to know, well, then what's a pandemic? Okay, that's first and foremost. What's a pandemic, right? So I just went ahead and just got a nice little definition here. And it says a pandemic is an epidemic of disease that has spread across a large region, for instance, multiple continents or worldwide. A widespread endemic disease that is stable in terms of how many people are getting sick from it is not a pandemic, right? So we have an idea right there of a pandemic. And the meaning, it says a prevalent over a whole country or the world. Okay, so widespread, it's not contained. It's a big problem. It's a big deal. It's getting after everybody, right? So that's what a pandemic is, right? So the other thing we want to look at is, or at least ask ourselves, are a couple of questions. And I'm gonna give you some of these questions, and this will let you know if you need to be concerned and if you need to prepare, right? So that's really why I'm bringing it. Should you be concerned? Should you get prepared? Okay. So the first question would be, and actually I was looking at a couple of different videos because I kind of like to cipher through various videos. I like to eat the meat, spit out the bones, right? So here's the meat of one of the videos that I've seen. There's some good questions that I think we all should ask ourselves. One is, does the virus itself lend itself to having a pandemic potential? Is the potential of this virus going worldwide, is that present? Okay, keeping in mind it started in China, and if you're able to go to various sources and track where it is going, then you would have your answer. But I want you to answer that for yourself. Does it lend itself to being a pandemic? Does the coronavirus lend itself to be a pandemic, right? The second one, is the virus, is it asymptomatic for a long period of time? Is it asymptomatic, meaning people don't really show that many symptoms or whatever? And then how long can you be infected and not even show any symptoms? Because right now, from all accounts that we can look at, right now it's about 14 days where you can not show any signs and still be affected by this particular virus. So you have to ask yourself that. There are no signs for a long period of time. Keep that in mind. Third question you should ask yourself: does the virus seem to be mutating? Does it seem to be mutating? This is the reason why it's hard to track. This is the reason why it's hard to identify certain strains, because certain strains keep changing, they keep mutating, they keep evolving. So it's hard to find like a cure. That's why there's no cure just yet, because it keeps changing. So does it seem to be mutating? It's really, really hard to contain it and cure it, okay? And isolate it. Very, very tough to isolate. Number 3. So number 4, okay, is it spreading in novel ways? See, sometimes we think that, through a sneeze and a cough. Yes, it does spread through sneeze and a cough. You can get in your mouth, you can breathe it in, you can get in your eyes. But how else? Through touching various surfaces. So that's another way that it is getting around and spreading so fast. It's not spreading linear, right? There is no linear spread. It's just widespread, and it's coming at us in various ways. So you have to ask yourself that. And finally, Is the virus spreading faster than the government can contain it? Is it spreading faster than the government can contain it? And that's what you have to ask yourself. Is it spreading faster than the government can contain? You know, my wife and I had conversation, or I should say she had a conversation, with some family members, and she was warning some of her siblings, just kind of sharing the information and saying, hey, maybe you guys should, prepare, get some provisions, stuff like that, just in case, just in case. And then, of course, there's another family member that comes along and just says, don't worry about it. The Lord will take care of us. Lord will provide, he haven't given us a spirit of fear and things like that. So it kind of reminds me of the story, of the different grounds, that the seed was sown on, stony ground and on sand and solid ground. You guys know the story. So the good word, some advice came, and it immediately got plucked away. So you guys are starting to see some of the things that were going on, that there could be a potential pandemic. But you look at those 5 questions and you ask yourself, is the answer yes to these questions? But I'm not going to answer it for you. I want you to answer it for yourself. Is the answer yes to those questions? And as a quick recap, does the virus lend itself to having a pandemic potential? Number 2, is the virus asymptomatic for a long period of time? Right now, we know it's about 14 days. Number 3, does the virus seem to be mutating or changing? Does it seem to be doing that? Number 4, does it spread? Does a virus spread in novel ways, various ways? And number 5, is the virus spreading faster than the government can contain it? You answer those questions for yourself. As for me and my house, I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that notification bell, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Stay safe.